It's 10 trivia questions on all things Garfield for Patreon subscriber Aaron Burgess. This is Trivia with Buds. What it be, and welcome to another episode of the Trivia with Buds podcast. I'm your host, Ryan Buds. Thanks for checking out the show, and thanks for listening to some trivia on Garfield and friends. Today, we've got questions on the comic strip, the cartoon series, the creator, and more. And I'm a huge Garfield fan. I have not read a ton of Garfield in the last, I'll say 15 years, but I grew up reading lots and lots and lots of the collections of the comic strips. I used to collect them from the Scholastic Book Club, of course, along with Calvin and Hobbes back in the day. So I had, at one point, probably 20 or 30 of those collections, and I think I probably donated them when I went off to college, I'm imagining. But introducing my kids to comic strips, I got the big 3-book collection of all the Calvin and Hobbes. So I was showing my son Tommy those the other day, and he really loved that the tiger is in his imagination. He's like, so no one else can see when he's alive? And I was like, pretty much. And he loved like their adventures. And so that was cool to show him that. And I'll have to start busting out some Garfield. They've seen like whatever the modern Garfield is. I think there's the Bill Murray movie. I think they've seen that. And then they have seen some of the computer animated Garfield series from like 10 years ago, but I got to get them back into the comic strip. So, all right, we're going to jump into some Garfield trivia here right after these warm-up questions. Let's do this one. What Emmy-winning series was set at the struggling law firm of Donnell and Associates? That was The Practice, spinoff of Grey's Anatomy. The Practice. Oh, no, that's Private Practice. The Practice was something different. But that Emmy-winning series was set at the struggling law firm of Donnell and Associates. Question number 2. What mogul hoped to hook hip-hop fans on his blue-hued energy drink, DEFCON 3? That was probably short-lived because I've never heard of it. Russell Simmons, DEFCON 3 energy drink. It was blue, from Russell Simmons. And what confrontational 3-word slogan did Sean Puffy Combs' Citizen Change campaign use to get hip-hoppers to the polls? That was Vote or Die. Vote or Die, which they mocked on South Park, I remember, one time. And all right, we're warmed up. We're ready to go. We're jumping into Garfield trivia around on the comic strip cat right now for my friend Aaron. Here we go. Garfield trivia. He hates Mondays. He loves lasagna. And here are some questions on that cat for Aaron Burgess. Aaron is a Patreon subscriber. Be like Aaron. Sign up at the $5 or higher a month level and pick a topic that I record just for you every single month. That is patreon.com/triviawithbuds. And here's Garfield, question number 1. Before it was called Garfield in 1978, what was the name of the original comic strip from Jim Davis in 1976? Number 1, before it was called Garfield in 1978, what was the original name of this comic strip from Jim Davis in 1976? Question number 2, Garfield takes place in the town of Muncie. In what state? Garfield takes place in the town of Muncie. In what state? Question number 3, what network aired Garfield and Friends, the television series starting in 1988? What network aired Garfield and Friends starting in 1988? Number 4, the second live-action Garfield movie has what subtitle? The second live-action Garfield movie has what subtitle? Question number 5, what's the name of Garfield's teddy bear? What's the name of Garfield's teddy bear? Question 6, what's the name of the pink cat that serves as a love interest for Garfield? What's the name of the pink cat that serves as a love interest for Garfield? Number 7, Garfield will pretty much eat anything with the exception of raisins and what vegetable? Garfield will pretty much eat anything with the exception of raisins and what vegetable? Question number 8, where does John visit his brother and parents often in the comic strip? Number 8, where does John visit his brother and parents? Number 9, where does Garfield frequently try to mail Nermal? Where does Garfield frequently try to mail Nermal? Number 10, what color is the spot Odie has on the side of his yellow body? What color is the spot Odie has on the side of his yellow body? And the bonus question, Garfield, for 2 points. Name any of the 4 primetime TV specials that Garfield won an Emmy for. 4 possible answers there, nominated for about 10 or more from the list I saw, but won 4 of them. You just got to name any one of the 4 that won. Those are your questions for Garfield trivia on today's quiz. Thanks, Aaron, for the great topic. That brings me back to my childhood, and we'll be right back with the answers after this giant dish of lasagna. We are back with the answers to Garfield trivia. Let's see if you got them all correct. 11 questions. Here's number 1. Before it was called Garfield in 1978, what was the name of the original comic strip from Jim Davis in 1976? 3 letters. It was just called John, Jon, the owner of Garfield, John Arbuckle. I had no idea till I looked that up. That was the only one I would have been in the dark on to kick off this round on Garfield, and maybe those primetime specials. We'll get to those in a bit. Number 2, Garfield takes place in the town of Muncie, Indiana. The state of Indiana, Muncie. I'm sure I've been there doing some kind of weird stand-up show in the last 15 years, all over Indiana, and Muncie is where it takes place. Number 3, what network aired Garfield and Friends starting in 1988? That was CBS, Channel 2, where I grew up in Chicago. Number 4, the second live-action Garfield movie has what subtitle? That's A Tale of Two Kitties. Bill Murray's voice, A Tale of Two Kitties. Number 5, what's the name of Garfield's teddy bear? The teddy bear's name is Pookie. Number 6, what's the name of the pink cat that serves as a love interest for Garfield? Arlene. Number 7, Garfield will pretty much eat anything with the exception of raisins and spinach. That was the vegetable, spinach. Number 8, where does John visit his brother and parents? On their farm. I'm guessing not super far from Muncie, Indiana. On their farm. Number 9, where does Garfield frequently try to mail Nermal? Abu Dhabi. That was my intro to this location. Abu Dhabi, always getting packaged up and mailed from Garfield. That was the annoying Nermal. Number 10, what color is the spot Odie has on the side of his yellow body? It's a black spot. Matches his ears. Although sometimes I feel like his ears look brown. So maybe it's brown or black for this answer. The picture I looked at was black, but I'm imagining in different animations and things, it might be brown as well. So either one of those I think is fine. And the bonus here for 2 points, name any of the 4 primetime TV specials Garfield won an Emmy for. These were like extended 45 to hour-long length versions of the animated TV show. And you could have said Garfield on the Town, In the Rough, Halloween Adventure, or Babes and Bullets. And those were always a lot of fun to watch, and especially the Halloween one. We did watch that one this past Halloween. I think we just looked it up on YouTube or something, and I showed the kids that one. And I remember the voice of Garfield was also Peter Venkman's voice, I'm pretty sure, from the real Ghostbusters animated show. So that was always cool to see and hear that crossover of that voice. But there you go. That was Garfield trivia for today. Thank you so much for listening and playing along with a fun topic. And Aaron Burgess's pick. Thank you, Aaron. Your fact of the day is Sonic the Hedgehog has registered itself in the Guinness Book of World Records for being the fastest gaming character ever. Can you do that? Can you just be like, no, we're the fastest? It says registered itself. So there you go. Sonic, the fastest gaming character ever. Thanks for listening. Thanks for telling a friend. Thanks for signing up for the Patreon for just $1 a month. You get your name in the show notes. You get some thank yous on air every once in a while, and you're supporting a great Monday through Friday trivia program. And I appreciate you for listening. We'll see you next time for more Trivia with Buds. Cheers.